Love English podcast.
Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to Love English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Leo. Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Emma, today I want to talk about a problem that happens to me every single time I listen to English that is a little bit difficult. It's a very specific kind of panic.
Panic is a very strong word, Leo. It sounds stressful. Tell me more about this feeling. What happens?
Okay, so I'm listening to a conversation, maybe a YouTube video or something a little faster than our podcast. I'm following along, I'm understanding, everything is good, and then suddenly there is one word I don't know. My brain just stops. All of my focus goes to that one word. I think, what was that word? What does it mean? I missed it. And while my brain is busy panicking about that one word, the speaker continues talking. By the time I tried to start listening again, I've missed 2 or 3 more sentences, and now I am completely lost.
Leo, you have just described perfectly the number one reason why beginners fail to understand real-world English. It is the single biggest mistake in listening. And the good news is, it's not a problem with your ears. It's a problem with your strategy. And we can fix it.
It's a strategy problem? I thought my vocabulary was just too small or my brain was too slow.
Your vocabulary and your speed will always be improving. But the problem is your focus. You believe that to be a successful listener, you must understand every single word. This belief is the source of your panic. But I want to tell you a secret. The secret to better listening is to understand that there are 2 completely different ways to listen, and you need to know which one to use at which time.
2 different ways? I thought listening was just listening.
Let me give you an analogy. I call it the forest and the trees. Imagine you are walking through a beautiful, giant forest. What is your goal? Is it to enjoy the beautiful view, to see the mountains in the distance, to feel the fresh air, and to understand the general shape of the forest?
Yes, that sounds like a wonderful walk. That would be my goal.
Now, what if I told you that your goal was to examine every single leaf on every single tree that you pass? You have to stop at each tree and count its leaves. Would that be a relaxing and enjoyable walk?
No, that would be a terrible, stressful, and impossible job. I would get so focused on one tree that I would completely forget I was even in a forest. I wouldn't see the mountains or the beautiful view at all.
Exactly. And this is what you are doing when you listen to English. Listening for the main idea, the general feeling, the overall topic of a conversation, that is forest listening. It's about the big picture. Listening for every single word, every grammar point, every small detail, that is tree listening. Your mistake is that you are trying to count the leaves on every tree. And as a result, you are getting lost and you are missing the beauty of the forest.
Wow, the forest and the trees. So when I get stuck on that one word I don't know, I am trying to count the leaves on a tree.
Precisely. And you are so focused on that one tree that you don't even notice the rest of the forest walking by. The secret to becoming a great listener is to become a forest-first listener. You need to train your brain to prioritize the big picture.
Okay, I want to be a forest-first listener. It sounds so much more relaxing. How do I train this skill? How do I learn to ignore the individual trees that I don't recognize?
You train it with a specific type of practice. This is your extensive listening practice. You choose a piece of audio, like an episode of our podcast, for example, and you give yourself one simple mission. My only goal is to understand the main idea. You are not allowed to stop. You are not allowed to rewind. You are not allowed to use a dictionary. You just listen from beginning to end. And at the end, you must be able to answer the question, what was the general topic of this conversation?
So I am forcing myself to let go of the details.
You are forcing yourself to trust your brain. You will be amazed at how much you can understand even when you don't know all the words. Your brain is very smart. It can use the context, the tone of voice, and the words you do know to guess the main idea. This is the most important skill in real-world conversation because you will never understand 100% of everything. Even I don't.
That is a huge relief to hear. So, my main practice should be forest listening, where I relax and just follow the main path?
Yes, that should be the majority of your practice. It builds your confidence and reduces your anxiety. It teaches you that it's okay to miss a word. You just let it float by like a cloud and you keep listening.
But what about the trees? Are the details not important? Do I just ignore new vocabulary forever?
Another brilliant question. No, the trees are very important, but you need to have a separate, special time to study them. This is your tree listening practice. This is your intensive listening workout. This is when you sit down at your desk with a notebook and a pen.
And what do I do during my tree listening workout?
This is when you do your focused exercises. You take a very short audio clip, maybe just 1 minute of a podcast, and you listen to it sentence by sentence. This is when you do your treasure hunt for new vocabulary. This is when you do your transcription practice or the scribe, or you try to write down every single word. This is when you look at one tree and you don't just count the leaves, you study the shape of the leaves, the color of the bark. It is slow, focused, and difficult.
So the two types of listening have completely different goals and methods. Forest listening is long, relaxed, and for the main idea. Tree listening is short, intense, and for the details.
You have it perfectly. And the mistake that causes all the panic is trying to use the tree listening method during a forest listening moment. When you are having a casual conversation or watching a movie for fun, you are in the forest. You should not be trying to analyze every single word.
So when I was watching that YouTube video, I should have just relaxed and tried to get the main idea. I shouldn't have panicked about the one word I missed.
Exactly. Your goal should have been, can I understand the general topic of this video? If the answer is yes, then your listening session was a success. If you want to study the details, you can go back later and do a tree listening workout on one small part of that video.
This changes everything for me. It's like you've given me two different tools. Before, I only had a microscope, and I was trying to use it to look at a mountain. Now I have a microscope for the trees and a pair of binoculars for the forest.
What a perfect analogy. And you need to be a smart listener who knows which tool to use. So let's create a simple plan. How can you practice both skills this week?
Okay, for my forest listening, I can continue to listen to one episode of Love English podcast every day during my commute. My only goal will be to enjoy it and understand the main topic. I will not stop, and I will not worry about new words.
A perfect, relaxing, and effective plan for your foundation. Now, what about your tree listening?
Maybe 2 times this week, on Tuesday and Thursday, I can spend an extra 15 minutes at my desk. On Tuesday, I can take the first minute of the podcast and do the transcription exercise. I will try to write down every single word. On Thursday, I can take the same 1-minute clip and do a treasure hunt. I will find 3 new words and do the creation step where I write my own personal sentences with them.
Leo, that is a professional level weekly plan. It is balanced, it is smart, and it is sustainable. You are training both essential skills. You are learning to appreciate the forest, and you are also learning to understand the trees.
I feel so much clearer now. The panic I feel comes from using the wrong tool at the wrong time. I need to learn to relax and trust my forest listening skills more.
You do. And the more you practice it, the more you will realize that you can understand a great deal without understanding every single leaf. The forest is more beautiful when you are not stressed about the trees.
Thank you, Emma. This is not just a listening tip, it's a new philosophy of listening for me.
I'm so happy to hear that. And to all our listeners, we encourage you to try this. Learn to separate your forest and your tree listening. Become a forest-first listener, and we promise you your listening skills and your enjoyment will grow immensely.
Thanks for listening to Love English Podcast. Remember, every minute you spend learning English is an investment in your future. Keep learning and see you in the next episode.